Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Mitz Talks, episode 4. Wow, I cannot believe we've been doing this so long already for almost a month. That's insane, guys. Well, thank you guys for sticking with me. I appreciate it. So let's get this episode going. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you right now is I had originally planned to do an episode focused on relationships, but something came up during the week and I felt I had a better topic to discuss. I will be getting back to the subject on relationships, but for right now, I'm going to put that on a holding pad and I'm going to move on to another topic. It's called positive mindset. I touched on it a little bit back on my Instagram and really just kind of talking about how do you focus on being positive. And, you know, the reason why this conversation came up is I had a coworker of mine who I worked with closely for the past year and a half, but we've known each other for about 3 years. Prior to working closely every single day, we used to just share emails and have a lot of phone conversations. And she would always she told me this week that she would always, before she physically met me, she was always like, this can't be real. This guy can't be this energetic and this positive. Every time we would speak, she would be like, what? Like, no way. Like, okay, this is insane. You're on some next level stuff. As she gets to meet me, she's like, man, this dude is legit. Like, this is who he is. First of all, yes. And I find that to be amazing that people end up kind of, because you can also think, if you see someone like that all the time, you think, oh, this person's fake, you know, and, you know, that's not really who they are. But I generally am who I am. You know, I believe in being positive. I believe in blessings. I believe in being thankful. You know, and I think there's a lot of times that people don't think that way. So negative thoughts, right? They're easy. They don't take any work. You can easily just think of all the bad stuff going on. You can be like, oh shit, my coffee's cold, or traffic held me up to work, or my bank account's, you know, low and it's not where I need it to be. And, you know, when you start thinking about these things, they affect your overall energy level. They affect who you are, you know, and then you have to think about the positivity. And that's the part where work comes into play. You have to also think that when you're a negative person, you're putting that out there, and that's what people are either taking in, or they're pushing, or they're just pushing you away. So what you put out into the universe is what you're going to be getting back. And if you realize that no one really wants to be around a person who's always negative, I mean, we've all been around people who have like negative moments. They kind of are, you know, you just want to walk away from them. You don't want to be around that person. So with that said, positivity, you know, one of my favorite motivational speakers, Les Brown, I watch him all the time. If you guys have never seen Les Brown, please make sure to check out one of his YouTubes. He has an amazing one I just recently saw called Forgetting the Past. But Les Brown talks about the amount of work it takes to be able to be positive and how easy negativity comes into the mind. So some of the things that I do, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Some of the things some tricks that I do sometimes to try to stay on an upbeat moment, on an upbeat mentality. So if I think about it, yeah, you know what? Not everyone always loves where their bank account is. Sometimes people feel like, you know, it could be better. So instead of sitting there and saying, damn, I'm broke, or damn, I don't have any, my bank account's not where I want it to be, think about, at least I have money. At least I have something. At least something is better than nothing. And if you are one of those individuals that got hit by overdraft fees and you're sitting there thinking, oh man, you know, now I gotta wait till next paycheck, but I lost this extra money, you have another paycheck coming. There's something still coming. There's still some form of positivity. You have a job. There is something there. And that within itself is a way to kind of counter the negative thoughts. That is a way that you just have to be able to just, you know, not allow yourself to be thinking, you know, everything's against me, it sucks. You know, it's another conversation another topic I want to touch on, right? There's a lot of people that I speak to that feel they don't love their job. The ones who wake up on a Monday morning and say, damn, man, I can't believe the work week's about to start. Oh, man, I got 4 days ahead of me now, so after today. You got to look at the week and start positive. If you think that mentality, let me tell you something. You've already set the tone for the week, my friend. People will already look at you and you will say, there's nothing good coming out of that if you have that mentality. Instead of thinking, oh man, the week sucks, man, this is going to be Monday, but like, yes, I get to set the tone this week. I get to change the game a bit different than I did the previous week. What am I going to do differently today that I didn't do yesterday or last week? And honestly, point blank, if you don't love your job and you think of it that way, find another job. Find another job. You should not dread what you're doing, because at the end of the day, that is your life. You have no one else to blame if you're not happy with what you're doing in your life. You make your choices. So again, when you sit there and if you don't love what you're doing, figure out what you love and do it. Understand that I understand at certain times we have to take steps. Sometimes somebody says, hey, I want to be, an entrepreneur, but I got to get some money in my pocket. So you know what? You might be doing Uber Eats, or you might be working at McDonald's for a while, but you get that money, but there's a goal there, and that's what keeps you positive. That's what keeps you focused. That's what keeps you wanting to move forward. When you sit there and you don't look at these things, and you just kind of just go through the motions, not only are you wasting your time, your life, but what's there to look forward to? What are you going to be happy about? So think about it that way. Love what you do, or have a game plan to get to where you want to do it. But don't sit there and dread everything. Again, that is something that comes out and people identify you in that nature. Talking about something else, identifying yourself by nature. Practice what you preach. I'm a big fan of that, right? You can't tell someone to do something and you don't want to do it yourself. So if you're a person that kind of feels like most of the time, the gas is more empty than full, and you just kind of feel like, well, I want you to be energetic and I want you to be happy, but then I'm over here all grumpy and upset. For all you parents out there, this is a great piece of advice. Don't expect your kids to conduct themselves in a certain behavior that you are not conducting yourself in. So, perfect example, you're a smoker. Don't tell your kids, hey, smoking's bad for you, don't do it, because they're gonna be like, but you're a smoker, so what are you talking about? Don't tell your kids, start the day off great, be energetic, make friends at school, and then you turn around and you're antisocial, you don't wanna talk around anyone, you don't wanna be around people like that. Practice what you preach, because that gives more validity and authenticity to who you are. So again, I don't sit there and tell anybody, hey, let's go to the gym and let's work out, and I'm not in the gym working out. I don't sit there and tell someone this is how I am as a father with my son, and my relationship with him, and I don't do it, and those are the things about it. So practice what you preach, and it comes from a positive perspective. Put that out there. Put that positivity out there. Show others what it is, and then they'll basically appreciate you for that, want to be around you more, and then use you as a point of reference, as a resource. Now, one thing I also want to talk about, when I talked about Les Brown and forgetting the past and all that good stuff, which is an amazing episode, by the way, on YouTube. When you sit there and you go through difficult times, and we've all gone through them, everyone has. I'm gonna use somebody else as an example, right? Dwayne Johnson. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Dwayne Johnson's video on YouTube where he's giving a speech to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he talks about his life and his upbringing. I'm a big fan of Dwayne Johnson. I think he's an amazing success story. But he talks about where he was at a certain point in his life. So Dwayne Johnson has a company, it's called $7. $7 is basically, the reason why he calls it $7 is at a certain point in his life, he had just gotten cut from a football team in Canada, and he only had like $6 in change, and he checked his pocket to see how much money he had. And he rounds it up, but he calls it $7. This is a man that took a moment of difficult time in his life where it was easy to feel like a victim, and he turned it around. And when he calls his company $7 as that point of reference to remember the struggles that he had at a certain point where he was at the bottom. But instead of sitting there and feeling negative and angry and the victim mentality, he turned it around. And he pays it forward by sharing his story with people. My thing is, I try to do that with you guys every single week. So think about a point where you are down. Think of a point where you're not happy. And again, being happy or being sad is your choice. That's no one else's control. You own that. But when you sit there and you feel like you're down, pick yourself up. Make it simple. Think of it as a day, not a week. Think of it as, when you get to the week, eventually, and you see you have better days, then a week will just naturally come. Then you'll see a couple of months, and they'll be there. Don't think, oh man, I gotta be here in a year. Break it down. Break it down so it doesn't become overwhelming, and it becomes tangible goals that you can get after. But again, when you're down and when you're down at a certain point, you want to find something that you want to hold on to keep pushing you forward. And then you remember that if you feel like you're slipping back, you're like, I'll never be that person again. I won't be that person again. I won't put myself in that situation. I lost 70 pounds, and let me just tell you something. Yes, I do love the way I look, but I have a lot of pictures up to remind me of a way when I when I looked, I was not happy. So as I tell myself every day, maybe I don't want to do it. No, you will do this. You will continue to do this, and you will find other people to help. So I don't to help get to their goals, to be that same, to be happy and positive. So going back to Dwayne Johnson, going back to point of references, if you are down at a certain point and you are on the path of building yourself up, use something to hold on to anchor you, to kind of remind you of like, wow, I don't want to be that again. I'm going to keep pushing forward. That gives you your drive, and that gets you excited. When you reach a goal, and that's why I said don't think of everything so big, but when you think of it smaller, achievable, tangible goals, it's exciting when you get it done. It's like, I have a coworker that loves tabs, those little Post-its. And every day she has, a whole list, and she checks one off and another one off. But it feels good when you get your goals getting towards your goals. That keeps you up, that keeps you going, that keeps you full of energy. And wrapping it up, I will tell you this. I am a strong believer of self-awareness and having a moment of reflection. I try to do it in the middle of the day, potentially, possibly sometimes at the night. And I do it in my overall life, right? I don't think of it just like working out, fatherhood, career, midst talks. No, I literally think about, how am I doing today? How do I feel today? And then I think about that and say, all right, I felt like this today. Okay, is something bothering me? Am I feel like I'm down? Do I feel like I'm up? Or I do it on a weekly basis, and then I do it on a monthly basis. And I always kind of do a pulse check to see how I'm feeling, because who I am, you have to be proud of who you are. And I am very proud of who I am and the person I become and the person who, and what I bring. But the big part of it is that I've created an expectation of who I am, and I have to deliver that. So remember to always take a moment to just say, how do you feel? Have that moment of a pulse check, because I think it goes a long way. It helps you out. It makes you feel good when you're achieving your goals. And then really at the end, just stay focused on how to become a better version of you. Are you putting out to the universe what you want back? And then if you feel like you're becoming negative, why? What's causing that? And then finally, guys, as I said earlier, like moment of reflection. You will get to you have to choose your own happiness. And when you find that happiness, you put it out there. Might it be smiling all the time, or might it be always looking to just kind of high five a person, or just telling someone, I hope you're having a great day. You look awesome. Living in New York City all my life, people have always said New Yorkers always have a stone cold face, and for the most part, I could say I agree, but it only takes 30 seconds to just smile. And you don't know who that might uplift. All right, guys, so that's the end of Midst Talks episode 4. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be doing more deeper dives into positivity and mindset and running away from negativity. But for the most part, guys, like I said, use this as a point of reference. Hopefully it can help you out. A lot of times I listen to, positivity in the morning to get my day started. So maybe this is something you can listen to. And as I say, you guys are amazing. Remember to be kind to one another, and then remember that at the end, it may be challenging at the moment, but be thankful that you're here. You can do so much more when you are putting beauty into this world versus negativity. All right, guys, let's talk.